Welcome to the glittering 2022 UNISA Research and Innovation Awards ceremony. Now in its 11th year, these awards have become a highlight on UNISA's institutional and academic calendar. Your Master of Ceremonies for this evening is Miss Lerato Mbele. Lerato Mbele is an international broadcaster, TV personality and media consultant with a passion for Africa and its development. She hosts a daily talk show and podcast entitled Power Talk with Lerato Mbele at Power FM 98.7 in South Africa. Prior to that, she spent 9 years as a broadcaster for BBC World News before leaving the global broadcaster in June 2021 to spread her wings and explore new ventures. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Lerato Mbele.
Good evening, distinguished guests, ladies, gentlemen, and awardees. It's both a privilege, an honor, and a pleasure for me to be your Master of Ceremonies at tonight's Research and Innovation Awards ceremony. Tonight, we celebrate the achievements of UNISA's research stars in the dynamic and exciting fields of research and innovation. Join us in celebrating this event by tweeting your congratulatory messages to tonight's winners on #UNISARandall or on the current platform you are currently viewing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy a glimpse into what research and innovation at UNISA is all about.
For over a century, UNISA has evolved to become a world-class center for African research and innovation, shaping futures in the service of humanity and seeking answers to our continent's educational and developmental challenges.
Technology allows us to have visibility and to increase access to medicine.
The No Paraffin campaign is directed at energy poverty.
Visual methodologies offer a vocabulary to often unspeakable experiences of trauma.
We have a pipeline of anti-cancer drugs that we have developed and that we are studying.
Through the work of its academic community, both on its campuses and further afield, UNISA has built a trusted reputation as a leading brand for research on the continent, innovating approaches to African challenges and contributing to the global canon of knowledge.
I'm Ashley van Niekerk. I have a PhD in social medicine.
My research has focused on burn injury. Burns are extremely painful and traumatic. In South Africa, we report about 100,000 such injuries a year,
with paraffin heavily implicated in these as well as other health outcomes. The No Paraffin campaign seeks a transition to safe and modern energy for energy impoverished communities. It does this by phasing out domestic paraffin use and by fast-tracking implementation of safe alternatives. Thus far, we are reviewing paraffin stove standards, and secondly, applying for a bitterant to be added to paraffin to reduce poisoning, while preparing for a national information campaign to inform the energy migration. UNISA has created a multidisciplinary platform to focus on energy, which is a pivotal and leading concern for this decade.
My name is Masham Kansi. I am a professor at the College of Economic and Management Sciences. When I was growing up, I was always caught up in between the summer heat of the Limpopo region and the whining sound of mosquitoes. Each time I tried to cover up, it felt like a furnace. And when I opened up, it was a risk of catching malaria. So when I encountered that one of the challenges for eradicating the impact that malaria have is the supply chain problem, I felt compelled to deploy some of my supply chain principles in developing an application that is affordable and will enable different stakeholders in the supply chain to react to the issue of malaria. Following the pilot studies is the commercialization of the application and making sure that for those that cannot afford, we are able to improve healthcare, and those that can afford, we are able to commercialize the application for sustainability and for job creation. UNISA has allowed me to travel internationally and showcase some of the best research that we produce in the University of South Africa, but also to use that research to have impact in our community.
My name is Puleng Sagalo. I'm a professor of psychology in the College of Human Sciences here at UNISA. Embroidery offers the opportunity for people to express what they often would not be able to express in words. South Africa has one of the highest rates of gender-based violence in the world. So the idea is that through these visual narratives, we are able to engage with how it affects not only those who the violence is perpetrated against, but also those who perpetrate the violence. It's a way for us to look at the work of art and feel challenged to take action. UNISA puts forward engaged scholarship, and it forces us and gives us the opportunity to think about our work not limited within university walls, but to think about how we can collaborate and work with and alongside our communities.
Fruit flies are a very good model for the study of many diseases, especially cancer. I am Monden Dwasa, professor of biochemistry, but also specialized in innate immunology. Well, cancer is a very important disease burden throughout the world. Although the traditional methods for treating cancer have advanced over the years, the survival of cancer patients and the recurrence of cancer cases has not been improved. So the work on fruit flies started when we were looking at the effects of chemotherapy on fruit flies. That led to discovery of one of the drugs that we are working with now. One of these drugs is now in preclinical development. If we are able to get into clinical stages, our molecule will be the second small molecule in the continent to reach such a stage. So it's an important psychological milestone as well.
UNISA's research and innovation community is meeting challenges with an approach to how knowledge should be produced. This multidisciplinary collaborative approach is creating African solutions to African problems. This commitment to cutting-edge, impactful research saw UNISA honored as the recipient of the Excellence for Research Impact category at the UNISA International Awards for Excellence in Higher Education.
Research is no longer just for curiosity. Research is really geared at innovation.
Research offers us the opportunity to think about and do work that has the potential to bring about change in society.
It gives us the power to go beyond publication to improving the situations on the ground.
Multidisciplinary research provides an important platform to reduce social and other inequalities.
We get to explore, we get to understand, we get to discover some of the ways in which we can respond to and come up with solutions to the problems that are facing our world, the globe, and the universe more broadly.
Now, this is impressive work and clearly shows UNISA's commitment to its research agenda and to finding African solutions to African problems. I would now like to call on Professor Thenjiwe Meyiwa to come and set the scene for tonight's awards.
Thank you, Lerato, for ushering me in. What would you do if you were in my shoes as a host overseeing these Research and Innovation Awards of this magnitude, stature, and number that equals none we've had before? You'll probably be ululating and dancing. But I'm not going to Lashram Lenze. The Chancellor and my boss, the Vice Chancellor, are with me here. I must be in my best behavior. I acknowledge first His Excellency, UNISA Chancellor, Dr. Thabo Mbeki, Chairperson of Council, Mr. Mabua and his board, members of the international consuls, Vice Chancellors within South Africa and beyond, and UNISA's VC, Professor Linkabula. I also recognize UNISA's executive team and various levels of management who are gracing this awards ceremony. UNISA staff, students, alumni, various associates, and sponsors. To our awardees, we are celebrating this evening. Jambo, Dumelang, good evening, across all the platforms. You're welcome. We've made it a norm to raise the bar on this annual flagship project. Each year, we go higher and higher. This year's awards, the 11th season, happens in the month of June, a month known for some significant and unforgettable moments that have brought about significant change to our lives. It was during the month of June 1492 that Martin Behaim's innovation presented the world's first globe. We all experience the benefits of now taken for granted light that the globe brings. On the national front, the June 16, 1976 uprisings that began in Soweto and spread countrywide profoundly changed the sociopolitical landscape in South Africa. As expressed by several scholars and research studies conducted and commented on by Sibanda, Cameron, amongst others, the link between knowledge intensity is well established in research and innovation studies. At UNISA, we commit to play a significant contribution in ensuring that higher education, science, technology, and innovation have a dynamic link with economic growth and prosperity. The last 2 years, since 2020, were very abnormal due to the pandemic. We somehow expected a significant decline in our research performance and impact. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm elated that during this ceremony, 112 academics are recognized for their research excellence and innovation. Our excellence is further demonstrated in the success achieved in 2021 from the National Research Foundation's rating applications. We achieved 94% success, the details of which you are about to learn of this evening. In essence, that's doubling new ratings in the previous NRF-rated research cycle. We now have a total of 243 NRF-rated scholars, and that's just half the year, as we await and are confident for more. Staying true and consistent to our university strategy and immediate priorities, we are resolute on research pursuit we refer to as catalytic niche areas, which include studies in energy, space and square kilometer area, fourth industrial revolution, feminist, womanist, Busadi studies, amongst others. The Vice Chancellor shall expand on that. Through these research areas, we are steadfast towards achieving the ideas enshrined in the global, in the motherland, Africa, and national imperatives. Those being to intensify the drive towards universities Africanizing and decolonizing knowledge production, and promote the use of indigenous languages in research. It also is about acknowledging meaningful and solution-seeking research. We're seeking to promote collaborative research within the private sector, with the private sector and government, towards increasing employment and foster sustainable growth. It is impactful research activities, community-engaged scholarship projects that seek us to address all these kind of social and environmental challenges. And of course, with all of this, we want to ensure that our qualifications reflect all these values. For us at UNISA, as a leading comprehensive, open, and distance learning institution, we're committed to being innovative, transformative, and to generate much more impactful research. Hence, the investments that we make. The investments that we have made in our researchers and research projects have sure borne fruit, leading to the kind of excellence we're celebrating this evening. Our awardees are a testament to UNISA's resolve in producing solutions that have an impact, recently demonstrated in the university's clenching of international acclaim and higher rankings. One worth mentioning is the Zaire International Award for Research Impact. That one, over 90 nominations from 31 countries were submitted. UNISA came first. The award reflects that UNISA's research and innovation projects and address societal challenges. This evening's awards therefore exemplify the fact that our research and innovation are credible, and we ensure that we address matters systematically. For us, we do not just only define the problems and simply solve them. We reflect and ask ourselves, what do we want to accomplish? And how? What resources we need to do that? Who should we partner? How will we measure success? And how do we motivate and reward them? Our research investments result in several researchers benefiting from almost 2 billion rand programs. That's our intention on turning research findings into implementable solutions. And we do that through a variety of innovation and all the work that we do, and through the Directorate of Innovation, Technology Transfer and Commercialization. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, boys and girls, I'm delighted to state that despite our challenges, through our academics and through our researchers' sterling and steadfast commitment to the UNISA's academic project, we are shaping a better future. We certainly are a university in the service of humanity. Enjoy the proceedings of this award ceremony. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you, Professor Meyiwa, for your thought-provoking words and for setting the scene for tonight's glittering awards. Now, we do know that in a nation that invests in its education, innovation organically emerges. And when there is the support for education and innovation, you transform a nation in much the same way in which South Korea has done. That's also what we want South Africa and the African continent to do. Next, I'd like to call on Professor Puleng Lenkabula, the Principal and the Vice Chancellor of UNISA, to say a few words of welcome and to share her current views on research and innovation at the institution.
Thank you, Program Director, Ms. Lerato Mbele. I'm appreciative to be invited to the virtual podium. It is my honor and pleasure to join UNISA epistemic communities today as we celebrate the Research and Innovation Award ceremony. I'm indeed delighted that we have taken the time to pause, recognize and award those who have excelled in key performance areas of research and innovation. These awards give us an opportunity to celebrate the very best of our researchers. It is these academics who are pushing the envelope when it comes to both research and development. For the past 28 years, there's been pressure on institutions to make tangible contributions to the aspirations of a better life for all. And as the University of South Africa, we have a vital role to play in harnessing knowledge production for the benefit of society. That these awards are taking place in a virtual format is perhaps the most poignant reminder of the central role that technological 4.0 advances play in our everyday lives. Whilst UNISA Advantage for many years has been its role as the only dedicated open and distance e-learning institution, we now need to recognize that the changing situation has introduced other universities into the space. To maintain our leadership position in ODL, we need to embrace comprehensive research in these fields in order to become the preeminent institution where new innovations in ODL and/or, as is now I refer to it as CODL, set the benchmark for our competitors. Furthermore, UNISA needs to forge collaborative and mutually beneficial networks and partnerships with entities nationally, continentally, and globally that are at the forefront of the fourth industrial revolution. The vibrancy of research projects within any university is an important measure of its contribution to innovation, development, the promotion of advanced knowledge, and solutions to global challenges. Even as we join hands today to celebrate high achievement in research and innovation, we have to guard against the use of these findings to widen the gap between the rich and the poor. Digital technologies have already shown us how real this danger is, as the digital divide has brought into sharp focus the importance of consciously adopting policies and practices that promote equitable access rooted in intentional social justice. There is a danger in advocating for excellence in research and innovation that focus can be too narrowly focused on technology, but I'm pleased that these awards remind us that how broad the field is. Today we will recognize and award those who have excelled in the fields of science, engineering and technology, agricultural, environmental sciences, law, education, human sciences, economics, business leadership, and many other disciplines. What all these researchers and innovators have in common is that they are impacting society positively and bringing the community ever closer to a better quality of life, but to understanding the value of education. So the emerging researchers receiving their very first honors today, I urge you to build your careers on a foundation of caring about your own and the broader community. We celebrate your academic achievements and are very proud of your contribution towards the advancement of knowledge, research, and innovation. But I challenge you to leave in your wake a positive and sustainable impact in our communities. As members of the university community, we need to be acutely aware of the need to be accountable in our research and priorities therein. As one of the universities at the heart of driving the advancement of Africa's knowledge systems, I'm deeply committed to ensuring that UNISA invests in research and innovation, commercialization, and internationalization. One of my core priorities is to support our activities in research and to promote partnerships with strategic partners, also reinvigorating and re-envisioning the key performance areas of engaged scholarship throughout the institution and through the 10 catalytic niche areas which we have identified for the university. These entail marine studies, aviation and aeronautical studies, automotive, energy, space studies and square kilometer array, the fourth industrial revolution and digitalization, natural sciences, in particular biotechnologies, nanotechnologies, health studies, medicine, feminist, humanist, Posadi theorizations, student support and co-curricular activities. It is very clear that the new society that is emerging relies on a digital backbone that takes innovation and inventions as matters of course. I cannot overemphasize the fact that as a university, we have to be constantly cognizant of the impact of our research on issues of social justice, access and diversity, amongst others. UNISA already considers the community as an important component of its ecosystems and architectures, and I'm encouraged by the extent to which these awards pay attention to the issues of gender and inclusion. They remind us all that as an institution, we can produce outstanding researchers in a way that also allows us to addressing the structural gender imbalances in our society. In my role as the Vice Chancellor and Principal at the University of South Africa, I have asserted the importance of placing the academic project at the center of our endeavors as members of the UNISA community. I go further and say that the academic agenda is non-negotiable. Over the years, UNISA has proven itself as a hub of Africa's knowledge systems, decoloniality, decolonization, and anti-coloniality. We should use these platforms, like this evening awards event, to promote a vibrant culture of research and innovation, one that delivers tangible solutions to our most pressing societal needs. Only in this way can we proudly stand amongst the community of global researchers and innovators and say, yes, we too are playing our part in creating solutions for our country, continent, and the world, even as we face crippling socioeconomic challenges. Once more, congratulations to tonight's awardees and indeed to all our academics. I wish you all the best on the road ahead and know that you will continue to raise the UNISA flag high through your exceptional work. Congratulations once again, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Lingabula, for the warm welcome and your interesting research insights. I'd just like to remind you all of Tesla, Google, and Apple. 15 years ago, these were not the most highly valued companies in the world, but today they are, disrupting markets and changing the way we live. That is the value of research and innovation. I'd now like to virtually connect on His Excellency Dr. Thabo Mbeki, the Chancellor of UNISA and the former President of the Republic of South Africa, to say a few words.
The Chancellor's Award is the highest award a UNISA researcher can receive from the university. It is bestowed only on those who meet the most exacting standards. Exemplary scholarship, technical proficiency, and national and international standing are important. But its qualities are not enough. Above all else, the characteristics that distinguish the Chancellor's Award recipients are their willingness and humility to serve. Through mentorship, ethical leadership, and true collaboration. Such researchers embody the best of Africa, driven not by a quest for individual glory, but the desire to sustain a nation and nations. And may our 2021 Chancellor's Award winners continue to carry the torch of African excellence. Best wishes, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much for availing us your time, Dr. Mbeki, and for your insightful and encouraging words about the value of research in achieving UNISA's research agenda. It's often been said that the mark of a great leader is to be a true follower, because a leader who follows is a leader who connects with the sentiment of people on the ground, ensuring that programs and policies respond as solutions to the need of a country. Thank you for yours, Dr. Thabo Mbeki. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the time we've all been waiting for. So let the 2022 UNISA Research and Innovation Awards begin. From the outset, I'd like to mention that while we are celebrating the 2022 awards tonight, many of tonight's accolades were awarded in recognition of the award recipients' 2020 research and innovation achievements. So let's kick off with our first category, Research Awards. Now, this year, for the first time in the history of the awards, both the Chancellor and the Principal's Awards will be presented in the same year. The Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Research is regarded as the most prestigious award for research and innovation at UNISA. This award recognizes high-quality published research by permanent UNISA researchers and research groups. The Chancellor's Award provides 100,000 rands in funding and a trophy in recognition of this outstanding achievement. Tonight's recipients are
Professor Mishak Gumbo, College of Education. Professor Mishak Gumbo is a specialist in Indigenous Technological Knowledge Systems Education. Professor Mweketsi Letseka, UNESCO Chair on Open Distance Learning, College of Education. His is an inspiring journey of extending education's reach, driving online e-learning to widen higher education opportunities. Equity, access, and quality are all part of the context, calling for creative and informed solutions. Professor Gerard Prinsloo, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Professor Gerard Prinsloo's research focuses on the structure-function relationships of biologically active molecules of indigenous plants using bioanalytical and bioinformatics approaches.
Truly stellar work. A round of applause, please, for these exceptional achievements. And don't forget to send your virtual congratulations to #UNISA Randall, or drop a comment on the platform you are currently watching the awards ceremony on. Our next category is the Principal's Award for Excellence in Research. The Principal's Award for Excellence in Research is the second highest award for research at UNISA. The award is targeted at young and developing researchers aged younger than 35 years, or groups that have achieved academic research excellence of the highest quality as published in the preceding 2 years. This research cohort comprises scholars who are generally in the minority within the national higher education system. The Principal's Award provides 50,000 rands in funding and a certificate of recognition. Tonight's recipients are
Professor Usisipo Feleni, Institute for Nanotechnology and Water Sustainability, INANO-WS, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Professor Usisipo Feleni is the Applied Electrochemistry AEC Thematic Area Leader at INANO-WS. She published 23 articles in 3 years and supervised or co-supervised ongoing 6 MSc and 4 PhD students during the period under review for this award. Professor Jan Maluleka, College of Human Sciences. Jan Resenga Maluleka is a Y2 NRF rated researcher and an associate professor in the Department of Information Science. His research areas include indigenous knowledge systems, information and knowledge management, infometrics and bibliometrics, as well as archives and records management. Professor Mlungisi Pakati, College of Human Sciences. Mlungisi Pakati is an associate professor in the Department of Political Sciences. His research focuses on intergovernmental relations in South Africa and political conflict in Africa.
Under 35 millennials, and I think it's fair to say the future of South Africa seems to be in good hands. Congratulations to all of these very worthy winners. It's encouraging to see early career academics making their mark in this prestigious Research Excellence Award category. We now move on to the Vice Principal for Research Postgraduate Studies, Innovation and Commercialization Awards for Excellence in Research, Women in Research. Now, these awards are a salute to UNISA's women academics who are making their presence felt in a largely male-dominated environment. These awards will be presented in the following 3 categories: Youngest Female Doctoral Graduate, Emerging Researcher Award for Excellence in Research, Research Leadership Award for Excellence in Research. Tonight, let's remember to celebrate all the incredible women who are making their voices heard. Once again, I'd like to remind you that in some cases, these awards are in recognition of their achievements in year 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, on the awards, the youngest female doctoral graduate. The youngest female doctoral graduate is awarded to the youngest woman staff member to attain a doctoral degree during the year 2021. The award reflects the importance of increasing the number of women doctoral graduates and emphasizes how many of them have completed this advanced degree. Now, this award comes with 25,000 rands in funding and a certificate of recognition. And the recipient is
Dr. Pabalelo Radingwana, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Dr. Radingwana's doctoral research focused on grey water reuse in alleviating food insecurity in rural Limpopo, which is prone to droughts, erratic rainfall, and is largely arid. Further, the health and nutritional quality of home garden vegetables produced using grey water were assessed. The study demonstrated the role of grey water reuse in mitigating against food insecurity and drought impacts for the rural populace.
And the warmest congratulations are in order for you, Dr. Radingwana. Next up is the Women in Research Emerging Researcher Award for Excellence in Research. Now, this award recognizes staff members who, in the last 5 years, have advanced their careers by acquiring a doctorate and producing research outputs. The award comes with 25,000 rands in funding and a certificate of recognition. The recipient in this category is
Dr. Fundiswa Kobo, College of Human Sciences. As a womanist theologian whose praxis is to decenter the West, Professor Fundiswa Kobo traces the origins of her womanist voice from reflections on her life as a black woman, a daughter, a sister, a spiritual sojourner, and an ecumenist.
Hearty congratulations and a well done to you, Dr. Kobo. And please don't forget to join in at home by posting your tweets or congratulations to our winner. Well, it's time for us to move on to our next award, the Research Leadership Award for Excellence in Research. The award recipients in this category are women who, in the last 5 years, have demonstrated outstanding leadership in research by producing high-level research outputs in prestigious journals and books, and in addition, have accomplished the following: supervised a substantial number of master's and doctoral students to completion, mentored young academics, led research groups, and are regarded as leaders in their disciplines. This award comes with 25,000 rands in funding and a certificate of recognition. The recipients in this category are
Professor Jeanette Moritz, College of Human Sciences. Professor Jeanette Moritz is an NRF-rated researcher with interests in coaching, mentoring and postgraduate supervision as developmental pathways along with well-being. Professor Norma Rom, College of Education. Professor Norma Rom has concentrated on exploring responsible research practice with reference to interpretations of transformative and indigenous paradigms for social research.
In South Africa, we have a word for this: Siti Imbogodo, amazing achievements. Remember to congratulate the winners. You can tweet or post your comments of congratulations in the virtual world. And now for our first music segment. Professor Karendra Devrup is the Acting Director of the Music Directorate in the College of Human Sciences at UNISA. As the music copyright holder, he has given us permission to use his music for tonight's awards. And now, without further ado, he's going to play for us Ancestral Home. Now, that's what I call smooth jazz, and I'm sure you will all agree. Thank you, Karen, and thank you for reminding us what strong musical tradition and aptitude exists right here in South Africa, or more specifically, here at UNISA. We now move on to the Hidding Curry Award presented by UNISA Press. UNISA's Hidding Curry Award is a prestigious annual research prize for authors of published works within UNISA Press. The aim of the award is primarily to encourage and nourish specialized skills in academic research and scholarly publishing.
Associate Professor Siv Overnes of the Department of Child Welfare and Social Work, Arctic University of Norway, for the book Street Khoisan on Belonging, Recognition and Survival.
Street Khoisan is based on the findings of an ethnographic study which demystifies the misconception that the Khoisan are coloureds who only live in remote bush environments. This book reflects how the Khoisan have survived the onslaught of colonization, assimilation and acculturation. The act of self-naming has carried resilience, where indigenous identities have often been muted and esoteric. Contrasting the history and identity of the Sami community of Norway, who suffered more than a century of state-funded forced assimilation policies and marginalization, Siv Overnes explores questions on the identity, recognition and survival of the Khoisan in the face of extinction. It's an interesting read. Associate Professor Siv Overnes has joined us this evening all the way from Norway. Let's give her a hearty South African round of applause for this achievement. Up next is the Innovation and Commercialization Awards. As Theodore Levitt, a German-American economist, puts it, creativity is thinking up new things, innovation is doing new things. We start the Innovation and Commercialization Awards with the Patents, Designs, Trademarks and Plant Breeders' Rights Award. This award is for IP creators or teams who've made the greatest number of IP disclosures over the preceding 3 years, starting from 2020, resulting in the filing of patent, industrial design, trademark or plant breeders' rights applications.
Professor Henny Stoffberg, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Professor Henny Stoffberg is a landscape architect and environmental scientist who focuses his innovations on irrigation water conservation.
It's inspiring to see that UNISA's disclosures are on the increase, and this is due to the sterling efforts of Mr. Ayanda Noma, the Director for Innovation, Technology, Transfer and Commercialization, along with his team. The next category is first patent granted in examining jurisdictions. This award recognizes IP creators whose patent applications resulted in the first grant of a patent in an examining jurisdiction in the year preceding the year of the award. Tonight's recipients are
Professor Vijaya Valabapurapu, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Professor Valabapurapu's patent is for nano-Josephson functions, the building blocks for both quantum computing and medical imaging. Professor Patrice Umene, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Professor Patrice Umene's European patent originated from his PhD work in 2018. The invention is based on the laser geometric fabrication of micron and submicron sized constrictions using sample mathematical formulas derived from first principles.
Our next category is for a first patent granted in South Africa. Now, this award recognizes intellectual property creators whose IP applications were granted in South Africa in the preceding year, and the recipient is
Professor Zingying Lu, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Professor Zingying Lu from the Institute for the Development of Energy for African Sustainability Ideas at College of Science, Engineering and Technology had his first South African patent granted for a new manufacturing method for high-performance lithium-ion batteries.
Our last innovation and commercialization category is the recognition for intellectual property applications. This award recognizes IP creators who have disclosed IP to the DITTC, and the disclosures have led to the protection of the underlying technology.
Professor Henny Stoffberg, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Professor Henny Stoffberg's innovation concentrates on water preservation, typically found within urban and peri-urban landscape settings.
Let's give them all a big round of applause, and you know what to do. Post your congratulations on the hashtag UNISA Randall or on the Facebook and YouTube awards sites. It's so encouraging to see that many ideas are being patented, registered in South Africa, and this talent doesn't have to leave the country, neither does the technology get developed and commercialized elsewhere. It's good for the South African economy and the South African community as a whole. Some say jazz is musical improvisation. Well, what does it matter as long as it sounds beautiful to the heart and to the soul? Here is another performance by the maestro, Professor Karen Devroop. Our next category for tonight is the External Recognition Awards. External recognition is important to any academic who wants to find the value and be able to benchmark his or her research doing what others are doing in the same research discipline. Our first award is for research excellence. And the prestigious external awards in this category are the Research Medal is awarded to an individual who has attained outstanding achievements in the field of educational research over at least 10 years.
Professor Elise du Plessis, College of Education, Education Association of South Africa, EASA Research Medal. Professor du Plessis exemplifies the belief that tuition, community engagement and research complement one another, and her research is motivated by observing communities of practice. Indeed, it was a combination of training and practical experience that gave rise to her intense interest in how open distance learning ODL student teachers experience their studies.
Next up is the National Research Foundation's 2020 and 2021 Science Team Award. The National Research Foundation's Science Team Award recognizes the contributions, creativity and the achievements of a science team towards extending the boundaries of scientific research in Africa, producing science outcomes which have positively impacted society, and for the role they played in raising South Africa's international stature as a world-class research destination. The multi- and interdisciplinary team was made up of
Professor Ashley van Niekerk, College of Human Sciences. Professor Diane Hildebrandt, formerly of the Institute for the Development of Energy for African Sustainability Ideas, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Professor Tonderai Matambo, Institute for the Development of Energy for African Sustainability Ideas, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Professor Celestine Sempunga, Institute for the Development of Energy for African Sustainability Ideas, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Professor Godwell Namo, College of Economic and Management Sciences. Professor Kitty Dumont, Social Change Research Lab, College of Human Sciences. Ms. Kamu Sehule, Engineers Without Borders.
Our final Research Excellence Award for this evening is the National Research Foundation Special Recognition Award, Research Excellence Award for Early Career or Emerging Researchers. The Research Excellence Award for Early Career or Emerging Researchers is an award that aspires to improve the research capabilities of designated researchers with the ultimate aim of redressing historical imbalances. It recognizes current NRF Tutuga grant holders who have achieved exceptional research performance.
Professor Ntanganedzeni Mapoli, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences.
We now move on to the next of our external recognition awards, the National Research Foundation Ratings for 2022. An NRF rating is an important milestone in any researcher's career. It signifies that the work has gone through a rigorous review process. Now this year, we celebrate a record 68 newly re-rated or transferred with an NRF rating academics. This is more than double the 28 ratings of the last year. And I think a round of applause is deserved for Mr. Maishe Bupape and his team at the Directorate for Research Support, who are the driving force behind this impressive achievement. Now, each of the awardees will receive a trophy in recognition of this worthy achievement. Before we start, we need to recognize a recipient from 2021 who transferred with a rating and joined UNISA after last year's awards.
Professor Richard Messner, College of Human Sciences, C3.
The National Research Foundation's Y rating. Now, these ratings are given to young researchers, 40 years or younger, who have held a doctorate for less than 5 years at the time of the application and who are recognized as having the potential to establish themselves as researchers within a 5-year period after evaluation, based on their performance and productivity of quality research outputs during their doctoral studies and early post-doctoral careers. Our first Y rating category is Y2. An NRF Y2 rating recognizes a researcher who is regarded by all or most reviewers as having the potential to establish themselves as a researcher, demonstrated by recent research products. And the recipients are
Professor Anya Duplessis, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, Y2. Dr. Aziz Idris, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, Y2. Dr. Johanna Krier, College of Human Sciences, Y2. Dr. Itani Madiba, College of Graduate Studies, Y2. Dr. Trina Mambo, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, Y2. Dr. Tsepo Mosweu, College of Human Sciences, Y2. Dr. Elvis Nkowana, College of Education, Y2. Dr. Ekemena Oseke, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, Y2. Professor Mlungisi Pakati, College of Human Sciences, Y2. Dr. Juan Skian, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, Y2. Dr. Kobus van Veengaard, College of Human Sciences, Y2.
Next up is the Y1 rating category. An NRF Y1 is a young researcher, meaning within 5 years from PhD, who is recognized by all reviewers as having the potential, demonstrated by research products, to establish him or herself as a researcher, with some of them indicating that she or he has the potential to become a future leader in his or her field. Or a young researcher within 5 years from PhD who is recognized by all or the overriding majority of reviewers as having the potential to establish him or herself as a researcher of considerable international standing on the basis of the quality and impact of his or her recent research outputs. Tonight's Y1 ratings are
Dr. Taryn Botha, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, Y1. Dr. Bahangwele Masindi, Research Fellow, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, Y1.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of virtual applause for this impressive achievement. UNISA's young academics are most certainly carving out a name for themselves, and it is so inspiring to see. We now move on to the C rating category. However, before we start with the C ratings, let's pay tribute to Professor Vinesh Bashdeo, who was to have learned of his successful rating this year, but who has sadly passed away. He was known as a true academic, a respected leader in his role as Executive Dean of the College of Law, and a gentleman who is missed and fondly remembered by all who knew him. Siti Hambalahle. C-rated researchers are established researchers with a sustained recent record of productivity in the field who are recognized by their peers as having produced a body of quality work, the core of which has coherence and attests to ongoing engagement with the field, and demonstrated the ability to conceptualize problems and apply research methods to investigating those problems. Our next category is C3 rating. The C3 rating is for academics recognized by most reviewers as established researchers, and here we have 9 recipients.
Professor Linda Jewell, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C3. Dr. Ilanga Kamika, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C3. Professor Tonderai Matambo, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C3. Professor Mbuzeni Matenjwa, College of Law, C3. Professor Daniel Machila, College of Human Sciences, C3. Professor Mudau, College of Education, C3. Professor Fulufelo Nemavola, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C3. Professor Wellington Twala, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C3. Professor Anna Totsetsi Kambule, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, C3. Professor Yali Yao, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C3.
Congratulations, felicitations to our worthy recipients. And let me once again remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that you can congratulate our winners, and we urge you to do so by tweeting or posting on one of our platforms. Now we're moving on to the National Research Foundation's C2 rating. In this category, all the reviewers are firmly convinced that the applicant is an established researcher, as described in the National Research Foundation categories. The applicant may, but need not, enjoy some international recognition for the quality and impact of their recent research outputs. And the recipients are
Professor Abdullahi Adem, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C2. Professor Harrison Atangana, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, C2. Professor Helene Barnard, College of Economic and Management Sciences, C2. Professor Mildred Bekink, College of Law, C2. Professor Bernardine de Klerk, College of Accounting Sciences, C2. Professor Mark Dubey, College of Human Sciences, C2. Professor Nadia Ferreira, College of Economic and Management Sciences, C2. Professor Samantha Geldenhuys, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, C2. Dr. Kaviarasu Kasinathan, College of Graduate Studies, C2. Professor Johan Nobel, College of Law, C2. Professor Llewellyn Leonard, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C2. Professor Marianne Luke, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C2. Professor Willem Late, College of Law, C2. Professor Tinandaba Mashau, College of Human Sciences, C2. Professor Christian Mbajiogu, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, C2. Professor Trevor McIntyre, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, C2. Dr. Bahati Mukeru, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C2. Professor Francois Mulenga, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C2. Professor Pasca Mungwini, College of Human Sciences, C2. Professor Mpongoepe, College of Human Sciences, C2. Professor Matthew Nindi, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C2. Professor Edward Ngumalo, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C2. Professor Thomas Pooley, College of Human Sciences, C2. Professor Edmore Ranganai, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C2. Professor Amos Saurombe, College of Law, C2. Professor Maralise Skuman, College of Law, C2. Professor Callum Scott, College of Human Sciences, C2. Professor Rainier Stein, School of Business Leadership, C2. Professor Adeyinka Teller, College of Human Sciences, C2. Professor Michael van Veek, College of Education, C2. Professor Dries Veldhuizen, Thabo Mbeki, African School of Public and International Affairs, C2.
I think it's time for a round of virtual congratulations from our audience, and a well done to the 31 recipients of the NRF C2 ratings. Next, we move on to the National Research Foundation's C1 rating. In the case of a C1 rated researchers, all the reviewers are firmly convinced that the applicant is an established researcher as described in the NRF categories who, on the basis of the high quality and impact of their recent research, is regarded by some reviewers as already enjoying considerable international recognition, or is regarded by the overriding majority of reviewers as being a scholar who has attained a sound and solid international standing in their field, but not yet considerable international recognition, or is regarded by the overriding majority of reviewers as being a scholar whose work focuses mainly on local and or regional issues, and who, as a scholar at a national leading level, has substantially advanced knowledge and understanding in the field by contributing to new thinking, a new direction, and or a new paradigm. And the ratings are:
Professor Adela Vega, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C1. Professor David Heading, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, C1. Professor Christopher Naus, College of Education, C1. Professor Veronica McKay, College of Education, C1. Professor Lucas Neyman, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, C1. Professor Rothni Chaka, College of Human Sciences, C1. Professor Marlene Gwethma Lemmer, College of Law, C1.
Again, a warm congratulations, a big virtual round of applause for these amazing and successful ratings. Let's now move on to the National Research Foundation B rating. A B rating is awarded to researchers who enjoy considerable international recognition by their peers for the high quality and impact of their recent research outputs. We start with B3 rating. Earning a B3 rating means that most of the reviewers are convinced that the applicant enjoys considerable international recognition for the high quality and impact of their recent research outputs. And the ratings in this category are:
Professor Kirsten Jordan, College of Economic and Management Sciences, B3. Professor Beki Mamba, College of Science, Engineering and Technology, B3. Professor Michael Khomotso Masemola, College of Human Sciences, B3.
Our last rating category for this evening is B2 rating. In the B2 rating category, all or most reviewers are firmly convinced that the applicant enjoys considerable international recognition for the high quality and impact of his or her recent research outputs. And the ratings are:
Professor Melinda Kutzer, College of Economic and Management Sciences, B2. Professor Peter Crawford, College of Human Sciences, B2.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's 69 new, re-rated or transferred with a rating academics brings UNISA's total NRF ratings up to a total of 243. I think this is something to be incredibly proud of, don't you? And now for some more music. Karen Devroop is going to play another set for us, this time a piece called Sunset in Khoi Samui. Thank you again to Karen for the soulful and wonderful jazz. In a move aimed at encouraging academics to get wider exposure for their research over and above journal publication, UNISA has partnered with the Conversation Africa to encourage its academics to share their research with a continental and even international audience. This can lead to research collaborations, media interviews, and also funding opportunities. The Conversation Africa is a platform created to drive engaging conversations across the African continent. Now, these conversations are aimed at identifying and discussing critical socioeconomic and political issues in Africa, as well as generating and implementing practical solutions. Our recipient for this award as the most read author is
Dr. Fani Joubert, College of Economic and Management Sciences, for the article Why the South African Government Should Buy Locally Made Vehicles for State Use. 1,084 people reached through the Conversation Africa platform and 48,424 through republication.
I hope this is encouragement to all authors to pitch their research to the Conversation Africa. This research platform with a global audience can lead to collaboration and funding opportunities, and even media interest. Our next external recognition awards category for this evening is the R500,000 and R1 Million Award. We all know research requires constant funding. To meet tightened institutional funding, academics are encouraged to source funding from external funders and benefactors. Now, these awards recognize just that: researchers who have successfully applied for and gained external funding. Now, this R500,000 category recognizes external funding of up to R1 million in external grants. Money is needed to get the right outputs, but money is also needed to commercialize ideas, and we honor the self-starters among us. So the R500,000 award goes to
Professor Usisipho Feleni, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Grant, National Research Foundation, NRF, South African Agency for Science and Technology Advancement, SASTA, Kofi Mvaba Science Center Exhibits Grant. Professor Ashley Gunter, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Grant, Arts and Humanities Research Council, Embedding and Enabling Creative Economy in Marginalized Societies, Creative Skills for Peace. Professor Alex Kuverega, College of Science and Engineering Technology. Grant, Technology Innovation Agency, TIA Seed Fund, a pilot-scale catalyst preparation for selective hydrogenation of furfuryl to furfuryl alcohol. Dr. Mxolisi Motsa, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Grant, National Research Foundation Competitive Support for Unrated Researchers, CSUR, Membrane-Assisted Hybrid System for Pharmaceutical Removal and Wastewater. Professor Fulufelo Nemavola, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Grant, Technology Innovation Agency, TIA Seed Fund, Development of 3D printed dental implants based on advanced materials, ceramic. Professor Monden Twasa, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Grant, Technology Innovation Agency, TIA, Seed Fund, Safety and Further Development of an Anti-COVID-19 Remedy. And Grant, Technology Innovation Agency, TIA Seed Fund, Preclinical Studies for a Novel Anti-Cancer Drug Combination. Professor Edward Ngumalo, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Grant, Technology Innovation Agency, TIA Seed Fund, a light-enabled self-cleaning water filter. Professor Memory Tekere, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Grant, Water Research Commission, WRC, Microbiome of Drinking Water System and Water Treatment Plant Sludge. Insights into water quality degradation, novel pathogens and potential health impacts.
External funding of 1 million rands and more earns this award. Million Rand Awards, our Million Rand Award recipients are
Dr. Sandiswa Figlan, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Grant, the Water Research Commission, WRC, Knowledge Validation of Water Use Efficiency and Soil Carbon Sequestration of Selected Indigenous and Modern Crop Cultivars for Sustainable Agriculture Intensification and Climate Change Mitigation. Professor Xingying Liu, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Grant, NRF, Competitive Program for Rated Researchers, CPRR. Activation of Iron Fischer-Tropsch Catalyst by Light Olefin. Professor Trevor McIntyre, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Grant, NRF, South African National Antarctic Program, Ross Seal Ecology, Behavior and Physiology in a Changing Environment.
I mean, it's the research and it's that enterprising mind. And for that, I think a round of applause is warranted here, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together in the virtual space and remember to post your comments on our streaming platforms. The next External Recognitions Award category is for Learned Society memberships. Memberships such as these add credibility to both UNISA as an institution and to academics in their research careers. External recognition by your peers is one of the finest accolades an academic can receive. First up is the Academy of Science South Africa membership, viewed by many as the finest accolade an academic can receive during his or her research career. The Academy of Science of South Africa aspires to be the apex organization for science and scholarship in South Africa, recognized and connected both nationally and internationally through its membership, which represents the collective voice of the most active scholars in all fields of scholarly inquiry. ASAF aims to generate evidence-based solutions to national problems, and the recipients are
Professor Willem Fouché, College of Economic and Management Sciences. Professor Kirsten Jordan, College of Economic and Management Sciences. Professor Jean Craig, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Professor Xingying Liu, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Professor Madipoane Masenya, College of Human Sciences. Professor Norma Rom, College of Education. Professor Ashley van Niekerk, College of Human Sciences.
Another round of applause for these worthy new South African Academy of Science members. Salute. Next up is the South African Young Academy of Science, SAYAS. The South African Young Academy of Science is the voice of young scientists in South Africa. SAYAS aims to contribute towards solutions to national and even global challenges facing society. It provides a platform for young scientists to influence policy decisions, to contribute towards the development of scientific capacity in South Africa through mentoring and role modeling of future scientists, and foster opportunities for interdisciplinary collaborations amongst young scientists. And the new members are
Dr. Usisipo Feleni, Institute for Nanotechnology and Water Sustainability, INANO-WS, College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Professor Monye Mabelebele, College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Dr. Moshawe Madito, Institute for the Development of Energy for African Sustainability, Ideas, College of Science, Engineering and Technology.
Let us show some love and a great round of applause for this great achievement. Please don't be silent in the virtual world. Use the hashtag UNISA or on the platform. You are welcome to comment on this platform you are currently viewing. We have now reached the end of the awards ceremony, an evening that has been filled with many richly deserved awards for research and innovation excellence. In closing, I'd like to call on Professor Puleng Sekgalo, Chief Albert Luthuli Research Chair, College of Human Sciences, to say a few words in closing.
Program Director, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, tonight we were reminded of the role that UNISA plays in contributing towards educational and broader developmental agenda of the continent and indeed the globe. Our researchers play an instrumental part in doing work that aims at responding to various societal challenges, and tonight we honored those who have excelled in research and innovation and played their part in ensuring that UNISA continues on its path of being a world-class center for research and innovation. It is through cutting-edge research that we can truly shape futures in the service of humanity. I would like to acknowledge all the colleagues who made tonight a success. In particular, I would like to acknowledge our Chancellor, His Excellency, Dr. Thabo Mbeki. Thank you for your message, which I believe all of us will take with as we continue to collectively work towards ensuring UNISA's role as a contributor in the project of research excellence. Madam Principal and Vice Chancellor, Professor Puleng Lenkabula, thank you for the warm words of welcome and for reminding us to stay focused on the broader academic project. And as we know, research forms an integral part of this project. Your vision, as translated into the university's broad catalytic niche areas, can only be realized if we continue to refuse boundaries and embark on innovative research. Thank you for your visionary leadership. Professor Thenjiwe Meyiwa, thank you for setting the context for us. The successes that we celebrate tonight are as a result of the efforts and support your office offers to all researchers. Siyabonga. I would also like to acknowledge one of our partners, the Conversation Africa. As we all know, colleagues, if our research outputs do not reach the broader audience, then we cannot speak of influence and impact. We thank the Conversation Africa for partnering with us and for ensuring that our researchers' work reach audiences within and beyond the continent. And of course, Professor Karen Devereaux, our very own, you and your group, thank you for the evening's jazz. We appreciate you taking time to honor us with your musical talents. And ladies and gentlemen, our awardees tonight, congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you for making UNISA shine. Ki re pele ya pele. I would also like to acknowledge our program director, Ms. Lerato Mbele, for the excellent job of steering this ship tonight. Thank you very much for directing the program for us. And finally, I would like to thank Event Cast, Marius van Rooyen and his team for the evening's technical support and broadcast. And with that, I thank you, distinguished guests, for celebrating with our awardees tonight.
Thank you so much, Professor Sekgalo, for your closing words that round off an evening full of excitement and recognition for quality research and innovation. Now, I'd like to finish off by saying that it has been a great pleasure for me to share tonight's award ceremony with you and see so much in terms of talent that exists in the country. To all UNISA's talented academics, may your research grow from strength to strength. May you continue to hold UNISA's research flag up high and continue to show the world what great minds exist right here on the motherland, so that next year it will be you receiving an award. Do stay safe, stay well, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.